tank full.
Yeah.
You know, they say necessity is a mother of invention.
Yeah.
Can we just invent something that we don't need to use fuel for? I don't know. It's crazy.
Elon Musk has already done it. But
EVs,
if we can't afford fuel, then we can't afford what's it called, a Tesla either.
No, not at all. Not at all. I don't know what to say.
People are scrambling around the city this morning, trying to find some place that is yet to increase their, fuel prices, just so they can top up, because the leap is too big.
Too big, and we know what happens when fuel prices go up. Everything else is affected.
As if it's not bad enough, and then Christmas too is coming.
Oh.
So there's going to be a sudden scarcity thrown into the mix. You can imagine that this is how things got out of hand back in 1983, when there was such a horrible situation across the country. I pray so hard that we don't get there. That it doesn't get that bad.
It appears there's no direction, Kojo. No direction at all. We are just in it, and everything is just going haywire.
Look, I'm not exaggerating. For some people, some families are in hell right now. Some families are in hell.
I mean, if you listen to the 6 a.m. news, there was a story about a mother who's struggling to just buy rice and oil, and these are the basics: rice, oil.
Then if you
the price of oil on the market, it's mad. It's mad.
And if you have a child who is not well, I mean, having to feed them is bad enough. Struggling to feed them is bad enough. But if you have a child who is unwell, do you have any idea what is happening to the price of medication?
And now the schools are complaining they can't feed the students.
Hey, what is their budget per child again?
I don't remember.
90 pesos, 93 pesos, or whatever.
In this Ghana.
93 pesos. You can't even afford the aroma of the food.
There's no direction.
The 6 a.m. news was brought to us by Total Petroleum. Total, we go the extra mile for you. And Absa Bank Ghana Limited, helping you find a way to get things done. Not forgetting Ghana Pay, your money, your way. Time for the Joy Business Report, and we're grateful to Cal Bank, Forward Together, and Glyco Life Travel Insurance. Glyco, we cushion you for life. So, as always, forget your cash. Enjoy a life beyond cash. Use the amazing MasterCard, Visa, and GH-Link options from CalBank for all of your payments. Or you can just shop and make payments online with a variety of virtual shops, all on the CalBank app. Alternatively, use CalNet Solutions to support your business in the performance of all transactions, including the regulatory payments to government via the Ghana.gov platform. Listen, so whatever you're doing, okay, shopping, transferring funds, or traveling this summer, just do it with CalBank. You can also earn great discounts of up to 20% from their range of partners when you pay using their channel. So if you want to know more, call toll free on 0800 500 500 or chat with them online on social media and on WhatsApp. You can also contact them via email. It's customercare@calbank.net. Go to calbank.net to learn more about their discount partners. Forget your cash, just go digital with CalBank. Forward together.
Hi, welcome to the Joy Business Report. Coming up this morning, some oil marketing companies increased prices at the pumps, with Total Energy selling a liter of petrol at 18 cedis 99 pesos and diesel going for 23 cedis 49 pesos. Details coming up. Meanwhile, domestic airlines across the country unhappy with the inconsistencies in aviation fuel pricing, saying that is affecting their operations. Also, demand for treasury bills expected to improve at this week's auction as investor sentiments are expected to go up after assurance from the president of no haircuts on government securities. Stay with us for more. My name is Daryl. Kwawu, thanks for being with us. Let's begin with the bad news this morning. Some oil marketing companies have started increasing prices of petroleum products at the pumps. Total Energy selling a litre of petrol at 8 cedis 99 pesos, whilst diesel has gone up from 16 cedis 99 pesos to 23 cedis 49 pesos a litre. Already, some OMCs have adjusted their prices upwards 1 week to the new pricing window. They tell Joy Business the increase has been largely influenced by the sharp depreciation of the cedi over the past 2 weeks. And it's not just the market leaders. Listen to Chief Executive of Petrosol, Michael Bozumbil.
It is clear from the numbers that we are getting from the BDCs that it is not looking good for the next window, which starts tomorrow. And but we are all hoping and trusting that some of the interventions that have been spoken about will be worked upon, so that we see how that affects pricing as we enter the new window.
You heard Chief Executive of oil marketing company Petrosol, Michael Bozumbil. Meantime, economist Dr. Edu Susakode has welcomed government's decision to purchase oil from other countries or sources, saying that will help control fuel pricing and rising inflation. Speaking to Joy Business, Dr. Susakode said government must act fast to lessen the burden on consumers.
The president touched on so many things. Key amongst them are the high cost of living, high food and energy prices, and the fact that he is doing something about it. For example, he has started negotiations with other, sources of oil, other countries or companies that produce oil at a lower price, and also when the cedi stored to keep the exchange rate. I think that will help also to check the price of fuel, because we know the price of fuel is driving the high cost of prices of items through high transport costs in the country. So if you are able to control fuel prices, you may be able to control prices of so many items in the economy.
You had Dr. Edu Susakode, who is an economist at the Department of Economics of the University of Ghana. And well, to another type of fuel we don't typically talk about, but domestic airlines are speaking out. They say they are being affected by the inconsistencies in aviation fuel pricing. Players within the sector say the unstable Ghana cedi is also halting or affecting the operations. According to corporate manager of Passion Air, Samuel Abdul Razak Techi, more internal and external investments are needed to enhance the operations. He spoke to Joy Business at the 33rd Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana National Performance Awards.
Yeah, it's been extremely difficult over the past 1 year regarding our operations. Currently, like you said, we are facing two very strong headwinds in the case of the depreciation of the cedi and the increasing fuel prices. As an airline, we use fuel to facilitate our operations, and with these two constantly on the increase, it's not been very easy, but we are still striding on, and then we believe that we'll definitely come out of it.
You had Samuel Abdul Razak Techi, who is Corporate Affairs Manager of Passion Air. Now, demand for treasury bills is expected to improve at this week's auction as investors receive assurance of no haircuts on government securities. That's the session by the weekly market update of Data Bank. My mic was off. You had Samuel Abdulrazak Techi, who is Corporate Affairs Manager of Passion Air. Now, demand for treasury bills is expected to improve at this week's auction as investors receive assurance of no haircuts on government securities. That's your session by the weekly market update by Data Bank Research. This is coming after last Friday's auction dipped by about 34%. There is more in this report.
President Akufo-Addo reiterated a commitment to protect investor funds, clearing the rumors about the potential haircuts on sovereign debt due to the International Monetary Fund negotiations. This is likely to see more bids in the next T-bill auction. The government raised 701.42 million cedis against a target of 1.12 billion cedis as investor demand for T-bills declined significantly last week. The auction marked the third successive week the government failed to achieve its target and refinancing obligation. On the secondary market, trading activity picked up last week but was heavily dominated by selling pressures. Meanwhile, the government will seek to raise 1.32 billion cedis in this week's T-bill auction to refinance the upcoming maturities of 1.062 billion cedis.
And that was Charles Nixon Yabua. Now, economist Professor Butexin has asked government to use the 2023 budget to reduce fiscal rigidities in the allocation of funds to free up some financial space for infrastructure development. He argues the rigidities in previous budgets have tied the government's hands from spending in some critical areas of the economy. Speaking to Joy Business, Professor Texan stated that the government could be compelled in the International Monetary Fund deal to pursue new policies to relax rigidities in the budget.
We need to also reduce the rigidities in our expenditure, because that also plays a role. As we speak, as of last year, over 140% of our domestic revenue mobilized goes into the payment of compensation to employees through earmark funds and then to interest payments. These are expenditure items that we normally cannot touch, but we can reduce in the long term if we put in place very good strategic policies that will help us to reduce the extent of rigidities in our fiscal space, so that we can free some space, especially for capital investment that we need to expand the productive base of our economy. So there are issues that are internal that we need to work.
You had the economist Professor Ebu Texan. To other news now, telecoms giant MTN Ghana has finally admitted that earnings from its mobile money business have been impacted by the electronic transaction levy. George Afe has more from the company's third quarter earnings released to investors.
MTN in its third quarter statement noted that what it secured from the mobile money business since the beginning of this year hit 1.4 billion Ghana cedis. The telecoms giant in the statement maintained that the slowdown in its profit of this business was largely influenced first by the introduction of the e-levy for May this year and decision to reduce the fees on its person-to-person charges by some 25% due to the introduction of the e-levy. Despite this challenge, the total number of its mobile money users was up by more than 16% to hit 12.4 million subscribers ending September this year. The contribution of the mobile money service to revenue, however, reduced by 22.8%. MTN's profit before tax ending the third quarter of this year reached almost 3 billion Ghana cedis, compared to 1.9 billion Ghana cedis for the same period last year. MTN also paid 2.1 billion Ghana cedis in direct and indirect taxes to the states ending September this year. MTN over the past month had been silent on how the e-levy had impacted on its business, but it appears this third quarter earnings has given us some details on how this tax has impacted on the business.
George Afe, with that report for us, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Commodity Exchange, Tushi Goka Ivawi, has stressed the need for women in agriculture to be supported to make government's Planting for Food and Jobs program successful. According to her, even though agriculture is perceived to be male-dominated, it is rather managed by more women at the smallholder farming levels. Speaking at the 2022 edition of the Ghana Economic Forum organized by the Business and Financial Times, Ms. Ibawi said about 65% of women in agriculture could be lifted out of poverty if direct aid is given them.
Comes to farming now, it's women are very predominant. I think just over 40% of women are in the farming sector. But what is really interesting is that when you go beyond farming to post-production, the number rises even higher. So women are playing a key role, and in fact are in the majority role when it comes to, let's say, market-oriented agriculture. They're farming their produce with a view to selling them to gain, income to look after their families. And you can imagine the kind of opportunities this will bring to the country if women are supported.
Chief Executive of the Ghana Commodity Exchange, Tuchi Goka Ivawi there. Let's check the commodity market for you this morning. Crude oil selling at $94.83 a barrel. Gold is trading at $1,639 an ounce after increasing by $6. Cocoa, however, gained $33 to open trading at $2,355 or $35 a ton. Now to the currency market. The cedi strengthened marginally against the dollar yesterday. Is going for 13 cedis 60 pesos to the dollar. The pound selling at 14 cedis 90 pesos, and the euro going for 13 cedis 70 pesos. There is more news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. Head there, read the day's latest stories. I could just show you one story there. Fitch Solutions predicts tougher times for Ghanaian economy in 2023. And so that's it. The Joy Business Report. The Super Morning Show continues. And here's Koji Yankson.
Yeah, he is. That's my microphone.
You know what I was thinking? It's silly, but I was thinking about Christmas. You know, usually you get packs of rice and oil. And I'm wondering, would the money just consider that?
It will be gold dust this Christmas.
That'll be.
If you give someone rice and oil this Christmas, you've you've blessed them and their family.
Oh, we always looked forward to that.
Yeah, so this time around, you not just look forward, you look. It gets priced out of the